Yeah, man. Have you subscribed to this channel? You know, Africa, first of all, is not a looting ground.
Oh, what man? You man? Guess what? Kariobangi making a huge difference in the Kenyan industry. About this, we were actually in front of two ambassadors.
Yeah, man. They were crazy.
Two EU ambassadors.
No, but so yeah.
That's really amazing because then you've leveled up, bro.
Yeah.
This is Africa.
This is Africa. And there's nothing complicated about Africa either. We have a lot of champions in East Africa, but their championships mean nothing because they are not attached to anything. We really are trying to bring positivity into our communities. You know, Man Like B, South Africa, Big Girl Courtney, South Africa, you know, Vox, South Africa. You know, there is the likes of Kawisimak, Uganda. You know, there is now B-Boy Pencil.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's a good afternoon here in Nairobi constituency, and I hope you guys are enjoying the Nairobi constituency series. Guess what? Today we're actually doing the final Embakasi constituency. This is Embakasi West, and Embakasi West is also one of the 17 constituencies in Nairobi. It's divided in actually 4 wards. We have Umoja 1 and 2. So Umoja 1 is a ward, Umoja 2 is a ward, and we have Molem as well as Kariobangi. Kariobangi. Bangi means sweet. So we're here to get into this constituency and really understand. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Your comments are really amazing and encouraging me to keep going. I'm so very excited that as Victors with Victor and team and family, we are really actually achieving this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. I hope you're ready for today. Hit that subscribe button. Let's go. And so today I'm meeting a very special guy, my student, somebody I mentored, and my colleague as well, making a huge difference in the Kenyan industry. And we're gonna have a chat with him as we get to know Embakasi West. Yo, Maji. Yo. Oh, wagwan.
Man.
Yo, man. Tell people who you are, bro. High vibration, good people.
Yeah, man.
Panga hapa.
Oh, ni wanyama hapa ndo tunatayarisha wanyama hapa hivi.
So Umoja, this is Umoja 1, right?
Yeah, man.
This place is known for celebrations, starehe, party, life,
sherehe. Home county ya Zozanesho.
So tell our viewers who you are, bro. Introduce yourself.
So
I might just let this guy run the show. This might be his show. So yeah, go ahead, bro.
This is Mzushi Africa. Government names, unajua kuna zile majina wanapendaga kutupea. George Kamingi mazee.
This guy says this everywhere we go. Like he has a government name, and then I remember the last time we talked about this, we were actually in front of 2 ambassadors.
Yeah, man. They were crazy.
2 EU ambassadors.
No, but government names ulipewa huku choose. But Mzushi ndo jina na prefer. And basically what I do, I'm a break dancer, a breaker. I represent Kenya on many platforms. And I'm also an educator. So basically we use the tool of breakdancing and hip-hop in general to try and impact social change, positive change in that effect.
George Kamingi.
Yeah,
I've been with you for decades, bro, but then I never asked. I think our viewers would be interested. Now they all can call you Mzushi because that's what you prefer. You don't prefer what was given. Yeah. Tell us, where is the name from, Mzushi?
No, so the name Mzushi Africa actually nilipewa na Omi. If you remember the champ Omi Mnyama.
Omi Mnyama. You are the first champion for Slam Dance Africa.
Yeah.
And then Omi was the second champion.
Yeah.
And he held the trophy for quite a while.
For quite a while, yeah.
Omi is your student and somebody you mentored, right?
No, I'm actually his student.
Oh, your Omi's breakdancing student.
If you remember,
I didn't know this.
Orange, if you remember time Orange BTS Street.
Okay.
Yeah, so this guys got time on talk at TZ. Came over to Kenya. And basically walikuwa skill level yao ilikuwa were a bit advanced. So
Omi is a Tanzanian.
he's a Tanzanian. Now he's literally a Kenyan.
Integrated in the Kenyan.
Yeah, man.
You know, I thought Omi was your student.
No, man, no.
This is insane.
Yeah. It's only that we've been on a journey, you know, like everything in hip hop, you know, there's moments where you learn something from someone, and then it gets to a point where someone can also learn something from you. So yeah,
that's really amazing, because then you've leveled up, bro.
It's been some work.
I imagine he's so proud as a teacher to see where you are right now.
I think so.
Damn, I hope we'll hang out with the homie later.
Yeah, man.
And have a chat with him. So this guy is still holding together. You guys have been friends for more than 10 years,
More
bro.
than 10 years now, yeah. It's crazy.
I can't remember friendships that I had 10 years ago. Yeah, but anyway. So why did this guy give you this name? Mnyama.
Basically Mzushi is a troublemaker, you know. If you speak Swahili, Mzushi ni zua kila time. And basically for me, you know.
So you started this 10 years ago, it's not just now.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I call him a champion and also a dance movement activist. One of the things that you really ran through during the Olympic qualifiers, because Africa was still, you know, colonialism at its best in this era.
Yeah, man.
And you ran a campaign that was very successful.
Yeah.
This is Africa!
Oh, this is Africa. And there's nothing complicated about Africa either. So.
Tell us about Africa, bro. This is Africa, the campaign itself.
No, I think
because that was a campaign that really went viral.
Yeah, I think when people had that breaking news in the Olympics, you know, for the most part, people got excited and forgot, you know, what are the actual facts, like what is actually happening. And you know, a lot of African countries were really struggling. Till now, African countries are still struggling to get, you know, their people on the Olympic platform. And the WDSF ignored this, you know, our governments ignored this, and then, you know, we had to launch this campaign, you know, and I think let's go. This is the place where we train kids.
Yeah, we're going inside here.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice. So this is one of the biggest market around here.
No, I think it's the biggest one so far.
It's the biggest market around here, and this is where this guy trains kids. Yeah. So then, with the campaign, tell our viewers what.
No, so basically what we were able to accomplish is that, you know, once people saw what we were talking about, because it was literally a question of resources. African breakdancers do not have the resources, first of all, to attend the many qualifiers that were going on around the world. And aside from that, the governments were also not willing to support. So once we launched the campaign, you know, we did not particularly get direct support, but at least people got to see like what was the actual situation in Africa.
And what is Africa speaking about? I mean, one of the main reasons as an activist from way then is being segregated from a lot of decisions that are made in terms of Africa.
Yeah.
I am a key player, I don't know if you agree, in the development and growth of the African breakdancing. But I think in most cases it starts from home. Because I think I get discredited by my people first of all, and then Europe, the US, and other Western countries see the need to segregate. Personally, I don't really think breakdancing helps me. But one of the things that happens as an activist is they put you aside when decisions are made, even though we are key players in the industry. Are you scared that these people might actually be able to put you aside as you continue speaking about and shouting about Africa?
No, of course there will always be, and I remember even during the Olympic qualifier, what I spoke about was not something that was unique. Like it was something that everyone was thinking. It was only that people were not willing to speak about it. You know, and mostly it's because of the fear that, you know, maybe your athlete's license might be revoked, or maybe you might be disqualified from this and that. You know, personally, Vic, I'm now 32 years old, bro. I've been breaking for the last decade. I have accomplished pretty much everything I set out to accomplish. So, would I care? Not really. I wouldn't. I wouldn't care. But what I do care about is people have to understand that, you know, Africa, first of all, is not a looting ground. I would say, first of all, and second, like when you come to Africa, you're not coming to discover, so to speak. There is nothing new here. Like, if you're coming to say that, you know, like you're bringing certain platforms out here, they've already been certain platforms existing, and that is why you saw it, and you were like, hey, I'm seeing something happening in Africa. I want to go down and see and or be part of. So, but some of these guys come out here and act as if it's the first time breakdancing is coming out here. Like, come on, like,
they want to act like those colonialists
like,
saying they discovered
it's-
Nairobi. Nairobi has been
it's
yeah.
not the first time.
Well, Mzushi, this is mind-blowing hearing from you, because I think this is a fought I fought, and then when you started speaking it is when I was starting to give up about it.
Yeah.
Because I think young breakers could not have the mentality that you have right now and be able to speak on the same page.
Yeah.
So I became a rival. If you remember, I became a rival to many breakers, not just in Kenya but around East Africa. But I'm glad that people like you have been able to take us through your journey.
Oof, bro, I think for me, like, there's been the mini documentary I dropped called The Fight of My Life.
The Fight of My Life.
I think
is it on YouTube?
No, it's on YouTube. There's 4 episodes on it.
Okay.
2 episodes are on YouTube. 2 episodes are going to be airing around East Africa.
Okay, so I'm gonna share that on bio, on description. Yes.
And so, like, literally, if you want to know like how my journey began, how I came into all this, this is somewhere perfect to start. Watch The Fight of My Life. And basically, what I would say is, like, in a nutshell, like, I started out, admiring certain moves in breaking, and I started to learn these moves, and eventually I started to go into battles, and eventually I started to be like, whoa, I like what is going on. And if you remember back in the days, the likes of Stone G, or the likes of Kimsey, guys who really stood out, guys like B-Boy D, who really stood out. It was really inspiring to see them, the time they started to go to Uganda and, start to put some light on the Kenyan breakdancing scene. Like, for me, it was very inspiring. And like, I remember being very young in breaking and seeing these people do this. And I also always wanted to, be able to come into this space. Unfortunately, most of these guys, they stopped breaking prematurely. And also, unfortunately, most of them left breaking without having done due diligence. They did not set up anything. They just took their cut out of the breaking, like they took their small cut out of it, and left. But what we were left with, is a scene that was, first of all, needing. I remember you trying to bring up Slam Dance Africa when you guys used to come out to Kibera, and like, you had to do it. It's not something that was a choice. You had to. There was no platforms. There was nothing. You had to do it.
This is Africa.
Yeah. So seeing what it has developed into now, it's quite incredible. And as far as my journey is concerned, also as far as growing into the battle cut that I have become into, that has also been a privilege. Having been able to work with the likes of Omi Mnyama, it has been a privilege to rise into this person. But I will say, up to this point, the thing that I'm most proud of is now rising into the space I am in now, to be able to first of all speak on certain issues, because I feel like it doesn't matter how much I break, it doesn't matter how many titles I get. We have a lot of champions in East Africa, but their championships mean nothing because they are not attached to anything. But if you attach your championship to certain fights, then it makes sense.
Where are you at now, and where is all this enlightenment coming from?
No, bro. If you remember, in I think this was 2022 when we had our first chance to go to Europe. Before, we always had this picture of what we think Europe is, or what we think, the outside, the international breaking scene is. And once we went out there and saw like what the reality is, and we came back, we were like, okay, maybe, our scene isn't as bad as we thought. Maybe we just need to work on it.
Yeah, I'm laughing because I remember when you guys were going to Europe for the very first time, I had a chat with you guys.
Yeah, man.
And I was giving you a perspective of what Europe and the Western world is, and you guys were looking at me like I'm crazy. Well, so what are we looking at from Mzushi Africa? Tell our viewers some of the titles that you've held. I mean, you're one of the African b-boys with the most titles, actually.
Oof. It's a hard question. It's It's crazy. So
Just
basically,
run
I will
us
say
through
like
kidogo,
you know,
kidogo.
I will be the first champion, first or second champion of Slam Dance Africa. Also the champions of Mviringo Breaking Battle season 2, 3, and 4. I'm the 2019 Breakfast Jam champion. I am also the Floor Reapers 2-on-2 champion. I am the France Federation Dance Fetele Dance champion 2 versus 2 in France.
You mentioned Breakfast Jam, yeah?
Yeah, Breakfast Jam also.
Yeah.
I'm also the Kigali Breaking Cypher champion also.
Breaking into leadership.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
No, I think it's something that you know most breakers never get to that space. I think we've been privileged, you know, to be able to last in the industry long enough to get to this side. You know, most people break for 5 years, 7 years, they stop. You know, we've been at it for a long time now, and one of the gifts that have come out of that is to be able to use breaking for leadership. You know?
Right.
And one of the places we are in now, this is Kangundo Road Market, and the space just behind is where we teach our kids. We have community sessions every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And this is a community I moved into like 3 months ago. Before I was living in Majengo, after I went to Donholm and my aunt's place, and then I moved here. And you know, one of the things we realize is this community is a very vibrant community. It's very happy. It's very, you know, energetic. Party, sherehe, yeah. And whenever kids now leave school, they rush home, they come back here. We have our sessions. We also have in Makongeni a couple of sessions going on. In Majengo we have a couple of sessions going on.
Right.
And basically, you know, it's just trying to use breaking, you know, to come into the space of leadership, because I think I have seen other elements of art used in leadership, but I have not seen breaking used as much in leadership. You know, when most people look at breakers, you know, we look like people who, you know, are just random thugs. But the truth of the matter is, we really are trying to bring positivity into our communities, and I think breaking is one of the tools that can do this properly.
Right. State of breaking right now in East Africa and Africa at large.
I will say people are pushing. People are really. I'm seeing a lot of push from a lot of different people. You know, there's lyrics, Afro Break from Ghana. There's Man Like B, South Africa, Big Girl Courtney, South Africa. You know, Vox, South Africa. You know, there's the likes of Kawisimak, Uganda. You know, there's now B-Boy Pencil. I'm seeing people like Farouk in Uganda also starting to organize event. Kirembe in Rwanda. You know, Faraja in Goma doing his thing. You know, there's events like in Togo. You know, like the Warriors Battle. You know, so I think there's a lot of push. People like Poxy also doing a lot of work. There's a lot of push, but I still think there's still a lot. There is still wanting. Because in terms of, I would say, especially in terms of resources and allocation of funds, you know, a lot of these players are still having to chip money from their own pockets, as you have had to do, as I have had to do for a long time. And I think this is the biggest problem we're having so far, whereby yes, people have the heart, people have the push, people have the will to do the work, but you know, without the resources to do it, you know, there's only so much that they can do. But I think the state, I'm not too worried. You know, especially now, you know, we have Dakar 2026 Olympics, Youth Olympics coming to Senegal. You know, I'm not too worried because there's a lot of eyes on Africa now. There's a lot of you know, visibility on Africa now, and so it's just a question, and it's a challenge also to us as organizers, as educators, as promoters of breaking, to know how to utilize those that visibility and those opportunities that come along with it.
Right. Where is Kenya right now? If you are looking at the map of Africa in break, yeah, so where do you see Kenya right now if you map it in Africa?
No, I think there's, I think within the last maybe 3-4 years, I think there's a lot of work that has been done within the Kenyan region. For me, especially right now, seeing, you know, new generation, at least more than 15 breakers, you know, in the new generation who are really strong and all at once coming out at the same time, you know, it's really promising. And even looking beyond them, there's the younger ones who are even way more, you know, and looking very strong. So I will say, you know, it's very promising. Like with the older generation, I wouldn't really talk about the older generation because you know, there's been a lot of things happening with the older generation. But I will say with the younger generation, I have a lot of hope because First of all, now they have platforms as compared to to the past, and also they seem eager to learn. They seem very hungry,
right?
So it's a good thing, and I think we've also done our part, to try and give them as much as from what we learned, or from what we got from breaking. We've tried as much as possible to give. So I think we're in a good space. I think East Africa at the moment, I will say, as a region, I've also loved the fact that there's been a lot of regional coordination, where a lot of regional players have tried to work together or tried to reason together and come up with solutions, African-bred solutions to that matter. And I think that might be the way if we really want to come up with long-term sustainable solutions for the region. They have to be homebred, and they have to be, we have to push them through.
Right. Yeah. Well, what has been some of the challenges? One as a breaker and as a leader also of the East African region, and that of the Kenya as a country as well.
No, I think
to where you are right now.
At the moment where I am now, I would say the biggest challenge maybe would be people not seeing the picture from where I stand. I would say, whereby you might do something, and you might expect that people see like what effect you're trying to create, but most of the time it's not the case. And I'm not really blaming people. Most people have not had the kind of exposure that we've been privy to, and I do hope they do get the chance to to get more exposure to this regard, because there's really before, when I was a battle cat, mostly I used to think solutions are we are waiting for people to bring solutions.
Right.
But
Savior mentality.
Yeah, but the more I have gone to the top of the breaking chain, the more I have realized that they have to be like homebred solutions. And for them to be homebred solutions, that first means we have to do our research. We have to know what we're talking about. Right. Second, it means we have to know how to do stuff. If somebody is giving you a project to run, you have to have the technical know-how to run that project.
Right.
And these are small factors that are eating into the breaking, but people might not realize, because we're still in the battling mentality. The scene is still growing. We're still young. We're like USA in the 90s. We still want to battle all the time, but I think we need to get to a point where we also are as hungry for knowledge as we are for battles and winning titles.
Right.
Yeah.
Where do you draw your inspiration from with all these challenges? What keeps you going?
I think just my journey, like looking. There was days where I was breaking, and I used to have dreams of things like like where I wanted to be, and from where I stand now, I'm past most of those places. Like I went past. I'm not even there. I went past. So I think that gives me a lot of inspiration, and also seeing. There's countries, countries like Morocco, countries like Egypt, the likes of B-Boy Clash,
right,
who, despite being in the continent, have been able to do go crazy level and do a lot of things.
Right.
So it's also inspiring. And I would say also seeing local actors do things. You remember when Slam Dance Africa used to be Slam Dance Kenya?
Right. Slam Dance Kibera.
Slam Dance Kibera, then Slam Dance Kenya, then Slam Dance Africa.
Yeah. So Slam Dance Africa that he's talking about is actually the movement that I co-direct with Salim.
Yeah.
I founded it as I don't know. I mean, it's never been gauged. I don't know where do you think Slam Dance is in the category of East Africa to start?
In what regard?
If you're leveling it, where would you place it?
I would say Slam Dance Africa is, I would say in many ways, the pioneer of bringing East Africa together in a big way. Because the first times I ever saw all East African b-boys at one event was Slam Dance Africa.
Right.
And this has led to what we now have called the East African Cooperation.
Right. And really, that's really, for me, that's amazing to hear that coming from you. Because for me, I'm really content where Slam Dance Africa is, where we've gotten, and that's why for me, I'm passing the leadership to you to take over from wherever we left it, wherever I left it, and hence the transition to Victor Sweet Victor.
Yeah.
Jijo, what is next for Mzushi?
I think what's next now is trying to now open up doors, because I've personally had the privilege of certain doors opening for me. Now I think what's next for me is trying as much as I can to now open doors, for the new generation, for the younger generation, and to block out the bullshit.
The BS.
Yeah,
I'm really happy and proud. I feel like even today, as I stepped out of the floor. I'm not dancing anymore. I'm directing. I'm teaching. But leadership, as I transition, I'm really confident, because my biggest fear when I was transitioning, remember with your generation, a lot of them could not understand exactly what you're saying, and I'm glad that you're going through it. But also now I feel very confident leaving the leadership of the scene to someone, because you are somebody who really understands the scene and now gets it. What is your big goal? What is your eventual goal? What do you want to see happen? Then I'll tell you why I'm very content with where I'm at.
Man, I think right now is my biggest goal right now, I think, would be to give as much information to people as I can, because I think this is the thing you tried to do for the longest time, also to make us see stuff, but then you're too busy wanting to battle, you're too busy, and this is something as when you're a breaker in the battle, in the battle mindset, you never really take time to analyze what's the surrounding and what's going on. But I think right now the biggest goal that I have will be to basically try as much as possible to pass out the information and the knowledge that I have to people as young as they may be. Yeah, so I think that's, for me, that's at the moment the biggest goal, and also to create like platforms, lasting platforms. I've seen scenarios where people have come out and create platforms that are not sustainable, and they act as if they are. And then they go missing for 4 or 5 years, and then they come back and be like, hey, I'm a big player in the
industry of the Kenyan. Yeah. So what is coming next from Zushi and Kenya at large?
Now we have the project coming up now, Breakma County.
Breakma County.
We are courtesy of the French government. So I think this is an important step now towards what's next for Kenya.
Breaking the counties for Kenya.
Yeah, because we've had a lot of focus in the capital, Nairobi, or in certain regions such as the coast. Not enough, but we've had just focus there. But I think now we are going to focus on 6 regions, which will be basically
24 counties.
Yeah, 24 counties.
Yeah. I'm really excited. So for me, I think this was the goal. Eventually, when we are done with this project, I think for me, I'd be very good.
Yep.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So I'm taking over now, Victor should dictate and probably tell stories.
Yeah.
Slam Dance will be in place, but I'm not going to be a very active. In the leadership of breaking, of course, I'm going to be top to help advise and also facilitate resources. But on the floor, I might come to events if I show up, if I don't show up. Now it's on you, brother. And I want to bless you as you continue growing into the leadership of growing up. For me, I think mine is to bless and commit every step that you make. Also still happy to continue guiding you into what you want to do and what you want to continue doing. But also I think to crown you as one of the people that I've really seen grow into who you are becoming today as a leader. And with all the achievements, I think my biggest fear was actually seeing this industry go down to where we got it from. And so to see leaders like you out here doing it, making it, makes me smile and it makes me happy. And so I have hope for this one. So now we're taking on to Victor with Victor.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, your parting shot for our viewers.
No, I think breaking is, we are on a different trajectory. We've been on it for a while now, but we are now dipping it. So I think my parting shot, yeah, man. Have you subscribed to this channel?
Better subscribe.
Have you subscribed to this channel?
Also drop a comment on the comment section.
Yeah. No, basically it's to to the breakers first of all. keep working. Like this year, I think I'm excited for this year's calendar. I know Slum Dance Africa just got partnered with another event in December, so I think that would be crazy. Return of the Cypher is coming up. You know, the Awakening also is coming up. You know, so I think there's a lot coming up this year. And aside from that, I think it will be also to basically support your breakers.
Mad. So go to so Jijo is a founder of a movement and an outfit in Kenya, one of the biggest actually. So he runs an outfit called King of the Street. Tell our viewers what King of the Street is as we get into that.
Yeah, man. King of the Street basically is King of the Street is a community outreach program based in Pumwani Majengo, and now, you know, broadening our scope a bit. We're now in Umoja, we are now also in Makongeni, and basically what we do is use breaking, you know, for social change, and to remind people that you are kings and queens
of the street. Let's get into the street, ladies and gentlemen. So this is Homie Mnyama. This guy is the teacher for Mzushi Africa, the guy we were interviewing. Homie Mnyama, where have you been? The beast. From down in history, this was the first Slum Dance Africa champion. No, the second. The first was your student. How did it feel to see your student win?
Of course, inakuanga amazing. Unajua kitu yenye unaileta juu bro. Hiyo ndio kitu inakuanga muhimu. Si mimi. The next one unakuanga amazing.
Your student has to be better.
Yeah, better than me. So, of course, kwa kila msee. Ndio.
How does it feel to see your student where he is? Uliona akifika hapa mali yuko?
Ndio, nasikia fiti sana. Sasa danganya. Hiyo ni feeling moja amazing. Na feel kani kwa life, kwa still alive. Na hiyo ndio kitu yenye watu wengi wajui. Mimi na feel proud, na feel tu poa yani, unajua. Okay. Na ni nice yani, niko sawa na hiyo kitu. In fact hata ina inspire tena back tena kwa industry again, because naona kuna vitu mingi na miss. Alafu ndugu yangu amepita na ubaya mpaka na inspire for the second time. Sasa ina vitu na ubaya
na come round
two.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was it for Embakasi West. Embakasi West as one among the 17 constituencies in Nairobi. I had a chance to talk to Jijo Mzushi, who's a very vibrant dance activist. A platform that I occupied years before. Jijo is a generation after my generation breaking in East Africa and in my country, Kenya. He's really stepped up into leadership, and that is my area of interest. So the constituency that we featured was Embakasi West, and it was formed prior to the 2013 elections and has an area of 9.35 kilometers squared, or rather square kilometers, which is an equivalent of 3.6 square miles. Most of this area actually forms Embakasi West constituency, which was part of Embakasi constituency. Embakasi constituency is what we finally doing as the last constituency, but Embakasi was one, so you imagine how large it was. We did central, we did east, we did south, and now we're finalizing with west. So some of the areas of the part of it is Kamkunji constituency, and Embakasi West as for wards. We've been talking about wards, so I know by now you guys understand. And the wards in Embakasi are Umoja 1, Umoja 2, Molem, and Kariobangi, like I said, Kariobangi South. Yeah, it was a pleasure doing Embakasi. I'll see you guys in the next episodes, and I hope you guys are enjoying this city. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think on the comment section. That was it. Embakasi West.
Yeah, man.
With Mzushi Africa. Check him out on all social media. Mzushi Africa, also share.
Victor. Victor. Subscribe.